Welcome to the Silhouettes of Success podcast with your host, successful entrepreneur, broker, and business mentor, Amber Weitzer. Because success comes in all shapes, sizes, and styles, the Silhouettes of Success podcast is shining the light on industrious women with a collection of curated conversations of intentional inspiration designed to inspire your heart, ignite your mind, feed your soul, and gift you with actionable insights directly from inspirational, everyday women who've shown tenacity, grit, and grace, having taken on the challenges in their lives and business and won. Remarkable, down-to-earth, and relatable, Amber and her guests will share with you uplifting and extraordinary real-life success stories, motivational ideas that just might help spark something within you. With the deepest desire to serve you, help you grow so you can begin to shine the light that will illuminate your very own silhouette of success. So, let's get to it.
Hello and welcome to the Amber Weitzer podcast, Silhouettes of Success. Our V.I.P featured guest wears many hats as a wife, mother, entrepreneur, and philanthropist. Her journey as a businesswoman began when she started building a business from the ground up. With her hard work and dedication, she was able to turn her passion into a successful, dynamic enterprise. She is the president and founder working towards growing her most recent venture, TOCCOA. She is committed to making a difference and leaving a lasting legacy. Silhouettes, please help me welcome Stephanie Roehm to the show. Hello, Stephanie. How are you?
I'm fabulous, and I'll tell you, that's quite the introduction. I feel pretty special.
Well, I think you are pretty fabulous and special. And we didn't even touch on the surface. So this is what it's all about, letting you share and putting that spotlight on you as you pass the light forward. So it is so wonderful visiting with you today. Clearly, I'm a huge fan and just excited to let you have the stage and showcase what you've got going on. So let's just kick it off, and to help illustrate the shaping of your silhouette of success, tell the audience a little bit more about you and your background.
I have been in real estate. Real estate was really my background. We've been in Texas about 12 years. And previous to that, I've sold real estate. I've owned real estate offices, Keller Williams, and I've done coaching and training and classes, and then opened a title company. Also have a mortgage company, and then TOCCOA came about, and so really this is my creative side. I get to kind of explore fashion and have fun with that, which is something I've always loved. And really, honestly, real estate is great, and I love all of that. But this is kind of my passion now, is TOCCOA, and it's taken on a path of its own. It's been a lot of fun, and it's a huge creative outlet for me.
I think we're in sync in that way. Clearly, I'm a real estate broker and grew up second generation in it. So, investor, the whole thing, similar, if you will. But I love the fact that you have the ability to turn off the contract side of our brain, and you get to do that and explore this amazing adventure that you are on. And so I am so tickled for you to share more about that. Let's kind of step back a little bit as we dive into that, what you're doing. Talk about, because our audience loves best practices, and you've got both business and, like you said, you get to explore more the fun fashion side of things, which is also business. But on a typical day, if there is ever such a thing in our worlds with all the hats we do wear, your work or business day begins. What might a day look like for you? Do you crave structure and routine? Are you more spontaneous? And just talk to us about what works for you.
I try to be structured and have a routine. I guess my biggest thing that I do every day, and I have to, it keeps me sane, is I get up early and I go to the gym. I find that gives me the most energy to take on the day with everything that the day throws at me. My day starts out at the gym, and then it's go, go, go from there. And there is no typical day, like you said. It could be a phone call saying that they want to start a custom, and I have to go pick up a coat from somebody, or I have to have my assistant do that, or we're buying fabrics, we're online negotiating contracts. It's up and down, and it could be as simple as just taking coats to my seamstresses and having meetings with them. So there is no atypical. It is, I'm usually in the car a lot. And so I call my car my office. So
So there's who has, I think it's Mercedes. Don't they have a commercial highlighting that it can be your cinema, it can be your office. So
yes, yeah, I think so. I think so.
I think so too. So that skill set, which we'll dive more into, again, it seems to be across the board, whether it's, real estate, title, mortgage, furriers, you got the skill set of needing to have the contract brain and all those things. So how about let's talk a little bit more about your career path. And you mentioned early on that you've got the real estate experience and history. Who do you think most influenced you when you embarked on your career path? And you can speak to what you're doing now, and influence or you can speak to the real estate, but talk to us a little bit about, because we're always seeking, how did she do it? How did she get there? How did she find her way kind of thing?
Well, that's an interesting question because I have had a lot of people that I would say have been mentors and influencers in my life throughout all of my, different paths. But honestly, I think that anytime someone's trying to set out to do something or, start a business or, run something, it really comes down to the grit, the hard work, the focus. And I don't, a lot of people don't realize that there's a lot of work. It's not all flash and fun. This isn't everyday fabulous. There's hard work that goes into it and stuff behind the scenes. You know what they say is blood, sweat, and tears. That's the truth. And my deal is every morning I get up and you eat the frog. What is the biggest thing in the day that you don't even want to tackle? The things that people put off, that they procrastinate on. And I find that eating the frog kind of takes on a whole new day for you. If you get up and do that one thing that you're dreading doing and you just get it out of the way, you feel so much more accomplished and you're able to really take on things and hit it head on. I think with running a business, you can't shy away from conflict or any of those things. You have to hit it head on. So as far as influential, I mean, I would say my mother has been amazing. I mean, she's a woman in business. She actually ran a company and they hired her without a degree. She had no degree and she was hiring people under her with degrees. And I always looked at her as basically as a badass woman. And so I would say that. And then my parents, both of my parents, just they're workaholics. And I got that from them and pushing through and persevering no matter what obstacle comes your way.
Okay, there is so much in there, and I'm writing as fast as I can. So, we can listen to this over and over in our car when we're walking later. But right now, I've got to grab some of this while I've got you one on one. So much of what you said is just amazing to hear, and we need to hear these things because in the world we're in, where we get to see all the pretty glamour and all the final product, we don't get to see what just took place before that camera shutter took that picture. That is perfection,
Exactly.
And to hear it be real and for you all to be real with the audience and say, hey, it is a blood, sweat, and tears. It is having the grit and the focus. And you just mentioned eating the frog. I ate an elephant yesterday, right? I mean, it's one bite at a time, and it's just
absolutely
crazy consuming and overwhelming unless you just stop and give yourself the grace to time out, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. Okay. So you talked about your mom and badass women, and amen to that. 3 cheers to her. How is that reflective of what you're doing today? Looking back and knowing that she played that role model part for you. It must resonate big time in everything that you do.
Absolutely, it does. And it's so great. I still, I talk to her every day. I run things by her. Her and I brainstorm. I bounce ideas off of her. Like I said, I probably talk to her 3 times a day. She lives in Ohio, and she is my biggest cheerleader other than my husband. And, it's great to have her as a perspective where, if I'm having a rough day, I call her and say, here's where I am. This is what's going on. And she kind of takes over and says, okay, here's what we're going to do. Here's what I think you should do. And then I sit on that and move forward with usually what she's suggesting or some, variation of that. I think that, having strong women as a woman, I think having a strong mother has made me a stronger woman in my whole life. And I think I'm doing the same, I hope, for my daughter, because she's 17 and I see her growing and finding her voice at 17 and standing up for herself and doing the things that she's pushing to do. It makes me incredibly proud. It's, generation after generation. I mean, I had a strong grandmother who also was the same way. And so, I think a legacy of strong women in my life has brought me to where I am.
Well, in addition to that, we are so grateful for all of those women in your life and your father and your husband. And, because it does show in your work ethic and it does show in the results, and it does allow you to come on here and share what you did and best practices to pass that light forward, because not everyone has that proximity to role model types in their life. So thank you for sharing everything you're sharing with us.
Yeah.
Interesting timing on that conversation with reaching out to your mom. When you get stuck or you need maybe motivation or to take action, and you mentioned it, I'm going back here, flipping in my notes. You said conflict, take it head on.
Yeah.
How do you break through? Like, what's a best practice or something you can think of that works for you to break through a seeming barrier to get to that next milestone, goal, or dream?
Honestly, I think it really comes down to when there's a barrier. I think a lot of it is excuse me, is mindset.
Mm.
And I really look at everything as there's a plan. And if plan doesn't work, it's not that there is a new plan or that there's just a deviation of that plan. How do you go around this? How do you make this work? And, my husband, my mother, some of my closest friends who are amazing women in their businesses, we sit down and I mean, I ask several women. I ask my husband, we sit down and we talk, and I say, how am I going to handle this next situation? It's mindset. It's a lot of times it's not even the situation, how you're going to do it. It's just getting your mind wrapped around doing it. And there's a really great book, and this is one of my favorites. It's called Rhinoceros Success. I don't know if you've read this.
No.
It makes me laugh. Everybody, for a long time, I was talking about this, and people
No.
were make fun. It's by Scott Alexander, and he basically compares rhinoceroses and cows. And he says, if you get up every day as a rhinoceros and you charge toward your goals, you will attain them. If you get up and you hem and you haw like a cow, you're not going to attain those goals. That you have to, it's got to be about waking up and taking on every day. And there's a piece in his book that's really funny. It's I'm going to remember it correctly. It's like charge with the rhinoceroses, fly with the eagles, run with the cheetahs, eat with the lions. Don't be a cow or a sheep. And so I kind of think, I know that sounds so cheesy. And if you read the book is very cheesy, but it resonates with getting up and taking on the day, no matter what it is. And that goes back to any obstacles, but you charge ahead and you figure it out. Be a problem solver. And that's really what it comes down to in business and in life, right?
Right.
And the people who are the most successful are problem solvers.
Finding that opportunity within whatever drama.
Yes, exactly. Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
I
Yes.
think that's the biggest key to me, I think, is just being the problem solver and figuring out ways to forge forward versus, having something, like a failure. People say, get up, shake it off, just do it. Well, that's exactly it. I mean, it really is simple as that. It's if you take a failure, you learn from it. you learn from everything in business and everything that you're doing every day. I think, and there's people smarter than you. We don't know everything. And I look to the people who know more to give me advice. And I know what I know and know what I don't know.
And that's part of being smart and wise right there, is admitting what you do and don't know and where you need help and to pull in those resources.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So you mentioned a little bit about your friends and other businesswomen. So again, helping others in the audience that might not have proximity to an immediate circle, where do you turn to for support as an independent businesswoman, as business owner, as someone who's an entrepreneur, kind of out there, carving your way in this new business realm? Do you have any support systems or support groups that you participate in?
I don't actually. That's a good question. No, I don't. I mean, I would say, I love helping everyone. The thing that excites me the most is seeing others, my girlfriends and my other friends succeed. Obviously, I want to succeed and want to push, but I love seeing others succeed. And I think any woman in business understands what we have to go through as women. Because not only, not to go into this whole, women have it harder thing, but, we have other obstacles that, men don't have. Now they have their own, but we do have unique obstacles to us specifically. And I would think any woman in business, if she saw someone that she looked up to or another woman in business, pick up the phone and call her. I can't imagine. If I got a phone call saying, "Hey, Stephanie, I'm starting this and I'd love some advice and how did you do it?" I would absolutely always take that phone call. I would make time to go sit down and have coffee and talk about what they're looking to do and how I could help or give them any advice that I could give them. I would be incredibly flattered, completely willing to do that and introduce them to other women. I've found such great support in my friends. It took a while to get there, moving out of state to here. I've been here 12 years, but I have a great circle around me. And I think a lot of women, if they look around them, will find that circle. I think that, and if they don't, reach out to those that they are inspired by.
Yeah, sometimes you've got to find a different circle as you grow.
Oh,
Those
I
circles
agree with that.
adjust.
Well, knowing
But
who to
yeah,
trust, that's a
right.
big
Yeah.
key piece of personally of being a woman. Like that's one of the things that like going back to men don't have it. They have different obstacles. Men do not have that obstacle like women do, in my opinion. I think women are harder on other women. And I think finding those true cheerleaders in your life and the people that you can trust and rely on is harder as a woman than it is as a man.
Yes. Yes. And that's why we embrace those that want to collaborate versus compete. There's enough of that out there.
What 100%. I
Yeah.
agree with that. That's a good way to put it.
Okay, to the audience, side note here, she is very authentic in what she says because she talks a talk and walks a walk. Because I reached out to Stephanie with a quick message because I knew you were the resource for a local situation and you replied to me. And I thought, oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Because again, knowing who to trust, if you will,
Yeah.
I went straight to you. So thank you.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I'm always
Yeah,
willing to help anyone. Because
love it.
I've reached out to other women and I've been helped. And I feel like, that's what you do. You pay it forward and you help anyone that is asking, in my opinion. Within reason, obviously.
Right. Agree, agree. All right, my lady, dive into what you've got going on. Tell us all about TOCCOA. Talk about maybe the journey and the inspiration that led you to such a beautiful niche business.
Well, it's so funny. So years ago, and I'll make a long story short. Gosh, my husband and I've been married 19 years and we've been together about 23 and a half, 24 years. It was 24 years ago. We were at a family friend's house in Pennsylvania. And we were talking about getting married and what we were going to do. And his mom's best friend said, "Well, I have something for you." And she took me up to her attic and handed me this beautiful blue fox stroller coat. And I was in complete awe because I said, there's no way I can accept this. And she says, no, you're taking it. So I did. And I've worn it and loved it forever. And was talking about how it was a little dated recently, about 2 years ago, and decided to restyle it a little bit. And it kind of grew from there, and sitting and talking, and everybody kept going, that coat is gorgeous. I love that. I want mine done like that. Then I saw a hole in the market. Neiman Marcus, a lot of these stores they're no longer selling fur. They are pulling out of that business. And there's so much vintage out there that I don't have to work with new fur. I mean, I can restyle what's already there. Almost every woman has a coat in their closet or their grandmother's closet or their mother's closet that they're not wearing, that's just hanging in there. And the really fun part for me is that's a piece of history. That's a piece of their family and their story. And we get to take it and restyle it and make it something that they'll wear now and honor that family member that gave it to them. No one expects us to wear or have something that stands the test of time forever. I mean, what pearls and diamonds are maybe the only two things that I know that stand the test of time that are classics. The furs are, but some of them are a little too big or a little too, just big puffy shoulders or whatever. Now that look's coming back in though. But just to restyle it and reline it and take the pretension out of the fur. Cause it used to be what older women wore it, and it was only for the elite. And it was this thing that was looked at differently, 20, 30 years ago. And now it's wearable every day. I mean, I throw on a fur with yoga pants. So it's been a lot of fun, and I'm excited to continue this journey and help women restyle their coats and wear them and love them instead of them hanging in the closet. And of course I also do new. So we do customs, we do new. But it's been a lot of fun, and I mean, I wear a different one every day. it's, it's I mean, why not?
Oh, so exciting. And I am thrilled to share. I'll give you the stage here when we wrap up in a few minutes, so you can share your contact info. But I am so thrilled and giddy when we get to share it so the audience can click on your links and just see what you're describing, and just how beautiful everything is, from the quality of your restyling and just a craftsman womanship. Craftsman womanship.
That's the exciting thing too. The ladies that work for me, this is what feeds my soul, is these women are mostly all retired. Well, they are all retired except for one. I have 5 seamstresses now. And, Candace, being my head seamstress, is 72 years old and is retired, and she used to run a business, and which is such a huge part of TOCCOA. Her and I brainstorm all the time. She is such a great insight into running a business, into the ideas and the creative side that, she kind of hones in with and comes up. I might come up with a crazy concept and then she brings it to life. And these women, I have Karen, who is, 65, retired. She used to work at a church. I'm giving them a little something back. They've been sitting and not doing anything. They're like, I love this. You're giving me passion again for something else. They can do this from home. And we're a family now. I absolutely could not do this without any of them. It's amazing the bond that we have at this point. So that's pretty exciting, and the friendships and the closeness that comes out of it.
It's becoming a continual light, because not only are you giving them something, they're giving, you, but you're giving your customers. But in addition to that, even on the different scale, is the art of seamstress. The art of doing that custom work and learning and observing. That's an art form that needs to be passed on to our broader, to our ladies
Younger.
And gents. I mean, really.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, most of my ladies are older. I have Madia, who's the youngest, but seems to be a lost art. I mean, and I'm not going to lie, I don't know how to do it. I come up with the ideas and they're doing the work, and they are just amazing. The hand stitching and their talent is, and the quality product that they put out for TOCCOA is bar none. There isn't anyone else, I can say that because I've seen it, doing it in that way. These women are truly a blessing in my life and to TOCCOA.
All right, we're going to shift gears a little bit, my lady. This is sometimes a two-part question, perhaps. So thinking through your journey, was there ever a specific point in time, whether it was an event or key situation in your professional life that forced you to face or take a monumental shift in your business or career? And with that result, positive or painful, how did going through that help you grow?
Well, I mean, honestly, with TOCCOA, I haven't had a monumental shift. We just launched in April. So I wouldn't go to TOCCOA. I would probably go to my monumental shift being when we had to pick up, and my husband was the breadwinner and we moved from Ohio to Texas. And I was in real estate and selling real estate in Ohio and doing very well. And having to move and pick up to come to a state where I was not known, I didn't have a name, I didn't know the market, was really tough for me because I was used to being in a role where, I was kind of in charge of I was running the show, and to move and kind of start over was really difficult, but I kind of found I jumped in, started volunteering, getting involved in different, the school with my kids and anything I could get involved in to meet people, to build a network, and to learn, the market and the state before I started doing anything, and then went into real estate coaching. So that was a huge shift for me, but it really taught me, perseverance, networking, all of those things that, uh, and I found some great people. I mean, I've been here 12 years, and the joke is we have friends who grew up here who say, "How do you know so many people? You moved here 12 years ago." And it's because I threw myself in, and I was involved in anything and everything I could to meet people for that reason.
Goes back to so much of what you've shared with us. And I just, what's ringing in my head right now is what you said earlier is go, go, go. I mean, you just get out there and you just got to go for it.
Absolutely.
Oh, all right, my lady. We're going to take a quick break, hear from this episode's sponsor. We'll be right back. I personally have been investing with Ashcroft Capital for about 5 years. I know the co-founder, Joe Fairless, pretty darn well. He's my brother, so I can personally vouch for him and how he approaches things. I like investing with Ashcroft because of the monthly cash flow. They buy apartment buildings, improve them, and then sell them. It's a good business to be in, and I'm glad to passively invest with them. You can learn more at ashcroftcapital.com. That's ASHCROFT capital.com. All right, Stephanie, we are back, and I am respectfully watching the clock, and I hate to let you go, but we've got to start winding it down because I know you've got fabulous things to do today. We all crave great resources that might help inspire, uplift, expand our minds. And you mentioned one book earlier. Do you have any other resources or mentors or influencers you'd want to share with the audience, and what makes that a favorite?
Again, that Rhinoceros Success book by Scott Alexander is really, truly amazing. And then there is The Art of Selling, which is, I think, if you're in sales or in any form of business, that's a great book. I can't think of the author off the top of my head, but that's also a good one. And it's really about making it about the individual and not about yourself. And I think that's what's really fun with TOCCOA. It really is about the woman and feeling fabulous and what she wants to do with her fur and how she feels in it. It's not about me. It's about all of the women out there and wanting to have something that is unique and specific to them, which makes this really fun. So I would say that those two books have been influential in specifically this business for me.
And it all ties back to, I'll just say your true north when you talked about, the business and the business model and why and how it all came, is you are continuing a legacy and you are storytelling and you are helping to pass this on. And that's so absolutely profound. Such a beautiful business model. So great that you're doing it. All right, milady, it has been awesome
Yes,
visiting
thank
with you
you.
today. As we begin to wrap up and wind it down, keeping the promise with our audience to always share intentional inspiration, do you happen to have a piece of key go-to advice or maybe a favorite quote or anything that you'd like to share?
Well, I loved yours. It was pressed, dressed. What was yours? I love
Uh,
that. I'm going to have to use that too. I absolutely adored that.
oh, dress pressed and polished. Yes,
Yes.
I have a etiquette course. So yes, that was actually okay, giving credit where credit's due. I know this is your time, but I'll tell you because I always want to give the credit where credit's due. That was from my real estate coach eons ago, Julie Kaiser, and she's up in Illinois. So,
Ah, I love
yeah, we were getting through some things, and she's like, "Okay, so you need to get dressed, pressed, and polished like you always." So that, yeah, give credit where credit's due, but I love it too.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, yeah, no, I mean, mine is similar. It's funny because, like I said, eat the frog. You get up and do something that that's my motto every day. And then, like that Coco Chanel saying, I love so much. Hold your head, heels, and standards high. Keep your heads, heels,
Yes,
standards high. And then this is silly, but I say it all the time, and I did this in coaching. Nike, their motto is just do it. I mean, I always just say, just do it. Don't talk about it. Do it. So,
perfect.
yeah, that's where I just say,
Rock
just do it.
on.
Yeah.
Yes. It's like 1, 2, 3, go. All right. Okay. So this is your time, 110%. The stage is all yours. Spotlight is on. Where can our audience go to find and connect with you on your
Yeah.
socials and support you in your continued success?
Well, yes, I love that. Yeah. We are at TOCCOAgoods.com, and it is TOCCOA goods.com. And then we're on Instagram at TOCCOA_goods, as well as Facebook at TOCCOA.goods. So,
Fantastic.
yeah.
And once again, reminder to the audience, we will have all of her links that she shared in the show notes. So it's one click away and very easy to connect with you. So, all
Yeah,
right,
and
my
you
lady.
feel
Yeah.
free to share my cell phone number as well. I mean, if any woman is listening and she's thinking of starting a business and wants to reach out, I would love to. I mean, I do not know everything, but I know what I know and I know what I don't. And I mean, it's women helping women, so I would love for anyone to reach out if they want to.
What a gift. Thank you for that. We will do that. We will do that for sure.
Yeah, and thank you so much for having me. I can't wait to actually meet you in person.
I know. I know. We're so close. That's what's so funny is, but you just never know, do you? So
No,
this is fantastic. Oh, my lady, it has been wonderful. Thank you once again for
no.
sharing a portion of your silhouette of success with us. You are a genuine light, and I am so honored to have connected and allow the audience to hear more about you and learn more about you. So thank you.
No, thank you. Yes, thank you.
All right. Until next time, talk to you soon.
Have a good one. Bye.
You too. Bye.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of the Silhouettes of Success podcast. If you enjoyed the show, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on all the new episodes. We are here for you and with you. We encourage you to share this podcast on all your socials and pass on the light to help illuminate another silhouette of success. To find out the latest ways to inspire your heart, ignite your mind, and gain actionable insights, subscribe at thesilhouettesofsuccess.com or connect with us on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. We're grateful that you tuned in. Remember, you are exactly where you need to be, right here with us. This is the Amber Weitzer podcast, Silhouettes of Success.